Well, ladies and gentlemen, the topic for the next panel is Suryoday Bank IT transformation journey with VMware and Wysetek. And it's time to invite our esteemed and robust speakers. We have with us the very captivating Mr. Narayan Telore, Head IT Infrastructure, Suryoday Small Finance Bank, along with Jude Mathias, General Manager Sales from Wysetek Systems Technologist. And having said that, it's time to invite our captivating moderator, Mr. Vinay Bhat, Director Networking and Security, VMware, who will be conducting and moderating the panel. Welcoming you to all the amazing speakers we have for this panel. We are definitely looking forward to imbibe and have a lot of takeaways from this session. I'll be urging our moderator to kindly take it forward from here.
Hey, thank you, Prajakta. Thank you for that introduction. It's great to be on this forum. Hi, Mr. Narayan, and hi, Jude. It's interesting that we're having this conversation and, about Suryoday Bank. Suryoday Bank is it's actually the only small finance bank in Maharashtra, and that's key, right? I think Maharashtra is such a big territory, and Suryoday Bank is one of the only small finance banks. So, Mr. Narayan, you've been part of Suryoday Bank. Tell us something about Suryoday Bank. How interesting it is to work with Suryoday Bank, and what are some interesting things that you're doing there?
Okay, yeah. Vinay, recently Suryoday Bank has launched its IPO, and now everybody knows about the Suryoday Bank is doing well. Suryoday Bank has around 550 branches and heading towards 600 branches this year. So really, I mean, the coverage of the bank is expanding, and we are reaching to most of the tier 3, tier 4 cities. We are providing inclusive finance services to most of the rural areas. Apart from the general banking, these are the services offered to our customers, and we are really doing well, even in the pandemic situation. So this is how, I mean, we are working towards the growth of the bank.
Interesting. And 2017 is when Suryoday Bank was formed. That's when you guys took the plunge from microfinance to small finance, and now it is 5 years. But I think this 5 years must be looking like 50, because you experienced one whole pandemic in that 5 years, right? So there's so much of experience that has come through because of that pandemic in terms of digital disruption, digitization of services, and this whole economy that is thriving on digitization. So I understand Suryoday Bank is now going through a large IT transformation project. How is experience coming from this whole pandemic shaping your whole IT DC transformation?
Yeah, Vinay. During the pandemic itself, we started our digital transformation, and we did hit by the pandemic and the most of the projects got delayed, but we pulled back them, and now we are on track. The complete IT transformation as a project we started, and we have built our own data centers. We have built our own branch network, and we have deployed state-of-the-art technologies. So on the technology front, we are forefront, and as per the regulatory requirements and the requirements of the new era, right? We are mitigating all the digitized customers' requirement. So that front, we are really doing well.
Interesting. So, you mentioned two key things. You mentioned own data center and own branches and the network there. We also have Jude, who's from Wysetek, and I understand Wysetek is one of your key SIs from infrastructure perspective for this transformation project. And you choose VMware, right, as your private cloud infrastructure. So before I go into Wysetek, one question, Mr. Narayan, why VMware? Why did you choose VMware for this largest IT transformation project that you're going through?
Yeah, actually, VMware is our strategic partner, and uh, uh, we have a complete virtualized R environment wherein VMware is a kind of a platform agnostic, and which gives a kind of a visibility end to end to my applications. And if you look at my scale, we being expanding, right? So the scale can be mitigated in the growing environment. And if you look at the user interfaces for these applications, right, it's user friendly and the policy can be managed through various workflows. So it's just not a user friendly, but provide a good workflows, and that help us, our IT team, to leverage all the systems through VMware. So that's where, I mean, we selected VMware as an partner and deployed the VMware technologies.
Great, great. Good to know. I think VMware has been a pioneer when it comes to virtualization and private cloud, and good to know your feedback on that, sir. And maybe one question to you about Wysetek as well. How did you go about choosing Wysetek for this project?
Wysetek was our partner since beginning, and we deployed various projects with Wysetek, and we saw that agility in Wysetek team to deploy the all VMware suites, and right from beginning of the deployment of the enterprise suite of VMware, we got a good support from them. And I mean, at all the corners of the technology, VMware has got the, Wysetek has got their expertise, and they supported, and even, I mean, in the current BAU process, okay, they are involved. So they are as a, partner to us, and they are delivering well to as per the bank's requirements.
Support it. No, absolutely. I think that's very, very key, right? I think when you're going through the largest transformation project, having a good technology and then having a good SI who knows about the technology and who can stand by you and support you during that whole journey is very, very important. But I have one very interesting question to you, and that is, you chose VMware NSX for your security. VMware NSX is one solution that has been used by some of the largest enterprises for security, and you chose that for your bank's security, IT security or infrastructure security. How did you go about choosing VMware NSX?
Yeah, so VMware NSX as a technology which goes hand in hand with network, and which gives a kind of a layer 7 visibility, right? I mean, that help us to have an end-to-end solution, and that brings in a kind of agile environment, respond faster to our business, okay, which gives a more resilient environment for our application security. So the micro segmentation which we consumed as a service for our infrastructure, which is again a regulatory requirement, and that's where, I mean, we decided NSX being a technology which would help us to achieve the requirement of regulatory systems.
Nice, nice, and and I'm sure you're laying the foundation for the next round of transformation for the bank. So it's only wise enough for you to use the most promising technology there, and from that perspective, I believe VMware NSX does help your cause. So I have maybe one question to you, Jude. You've been listening to this conversation, and you've been one of the key SIs on this project with Suryoday. So you have implemented, a large part of the VMware platform for Suryoday, or I believe the entire platform for Suryoday Bank, including NSX. What is your experience being, implementing VMware NSX?
So we are happy to be engaged with Suryoday in their esteemed project of this digital transformation. As an organization, as Wysetek, 32 years into the industry, we've seen the highs and lows of the IT, the various technologies that has been evolved. And I'm happy to say that we were the early partners of VMware, when VMware actually started its operations in India. So our journey with VMware has been, legendary, I would say, because we are one of the top partners, not only from a transaction perspective, but we also talk about having technical expertise. So we are proud to say that we are one of the very few partners who are MSc partners, which is a Master Services Competency certification that is there of VMware. And that involves a lot of investment in terms of having the right set of technical skills. Our journey with VMware has been very strong, obviously. So we have developed our own skills in terms of implementing VMware technologies. We are also a PSO partner for VMware. So when we interacted with Suryoday, I mean, it was, as you rightly said, we've taken up the entire system integration project for Suryoday, starting from the infrastructure, which includes the server to storage to networking to the perimeters, security to backups. So it was very easy for us to understand the entire project. For any project, understanding the customer's objectives, integrating the various components of solutions together becomes very important for the success of the project. And since we were, thanks to Suryoday, who had the confidence in us that we could pull out such a important and critical project for them, we were able to handle each and every solution pillar, and we were able to stitch across the various technologies together. So when it came to NSX, it became easy for us since we knew the objectives, we knew the projects, we knew the different components of the entire solution. And obviously we had the right skill sets. As I said, being an MSc partner of VMware, we have got certified project team members, and we have done a lot of similar projects in the BFSI segment. So I would say that almost 60 to 70% of our business comes through BFSI. So we understand what is important, what are the regulations that govern a banking customer. And obviously we were able to do justice to this project in terms of designing and implementing the solution. And also thanks to Mr. Narayan and his team, who have been very helpful to us in terms of helping us, walking this journey together and ensuring that this project is implemented successfully.
Hey, thanks so much, Jude. I think this is one story, right, where it's not just a vendor and a customer, right? Everybody has their skin in the game, and for a project like this scale, if it has to come, it has to become success. Everybody has to walk their own path. Everybody has to work together to make it successful. And I believe that is one great success story that has been getting written through this project. I'm very, very excited, to be part of this journey from VMware and NSX perspective, Mr. Narayan, and we'll make everything possible to make you successful. And thanks, Jude, for sharing this journey with us and walking this path with us. I'm really, really excited and want to work more and more on such kind of projects. Thank you for joining this session, and that's it from me. So everyone, you heard about this interesting story and this interesting project about Suryoday Bank. If you would be interested, in engaging with VMware for any such interesting projects, you can reach out to VMware, or we have a Wysetek booth in the forum. You can come and meet us, and you can talk about it. We can run assessments, free of cost, run assessments, network and security assessments for your data center, and we can tell you what is right for your organization from a DC transformation perspective. So go ahead, reach out to us. It is absolutely non-committal, free of cost. We'll be happy to suggest and be part of your transformation journey. Thank you.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, post that enriching session, it's time to unfold and witness our next panel discussion on security in era of digital transformation. Well, digital transformation is profoundly altering every aspect of how today's businesses operate and they are competed. The sheer volume of data that enterprises create, manipulate, and store is growing and drives a greater need for data governance. In addition to this, computing environments are more complex than they were once, routinely spanning the public cloud, the enterprise data center, and the numerous edge devices ranging from the Internet of Things, sensors to robots, and remote servers. This complexity creates an expanded attack surface that's more challenging to monitor and to secure. Well, we'll be discussing the impact of encryption, data masking, data resiliency, along with cognitive computing, rapid decision making in times of critical need, and also security across public, private, multi-cloud. How's quantum transforming cybersecurity? So stay tuned and let's find out who's the jury for this absolutely invigorating and brain stimulating session.